The Iraqi dinar at a defining crossroads for years. The Iraqi dinar has been a subject of fascination, speculation, and frustration for investors, collectors, and global currency watchers. What was once considered a short-term opportunity gradually transformed into a long test of patience. The dinar story is not just about numbers on a note. It is about endurance, hope, skepticism, and, increasingly, preparation for a long-awaited shift. In recent months, signals from reliable channels suggest that we are no longer stuck in endless cycles of rumor and delay. Instead, we may be witnessing the transition from expectation to execution. Financial institutions, central banks, and redemption centers appear to be moving from behind-the-scenes preparation to frontline activation. If accurate, this transition marks more than just a monetary adjustment. It represents Iraq's broader economic reawakening and integration with the international financial system. This section takes a deep dive into what this moment means, why it matters, how individuals can prepare, and what responsibilities come with potential gains. 1. A journey defined by patience. The dinar's modern history is one of contrasts. On one hand, it carries the weight of Iraq's turbulent past. Wars, sanctions, political upheaval, and decades of instability that left its currency undervalued and its economy isolated. On the other hand, it carries the hopes of investors who saw potential in Iraq's natural resources, particularly oil, and believed the country would eventually reclaim its financial standing. For many holders, the waiting game has stretched across decades. Online forums, newsletters, and social media groups became gathering points where speculation thrived. Promises of soon, or any day now, became familiar refrains. Those who stayed invested through the noise often described the experience as both exhausting and character-building. The key theme of this journey has been endurance. Investors were forced to cultivate patience not only because of delays, but also because of the uncertainty that clouded every update. And yet, the persistence of this community has brought it to what increasingly looks like a defining moment. 2. From speculation to action, what distinguishes the present from past cycles of chatter is the tangible evidence of readiness. This is not just about online posts or hopeful commentary. Multiple reports point to real institutional steps. Financial institutions confirming systems are live. Redemption centers completing their staff training and security checks. Verified communications, emails, phone calls, and appointment notices being sent to select individuals in multiple regions. The tone of these communications is not speculative. It is directive, confident, and urgent, urging recipients to prepare for imminent action. Even more compelling are claims that controlled, early exchanges have already begun in certain locations. If true, this would suggest a phased rollout strategy designed to test logistics before opening to a broader audience. Such a step-by-step process reduces chaos and ensures both banks and participants are equipped to handle the transition. 3. Preparing for redemption. Practical steps for those holding Iraqi dinar. The most critical advice at this stage is preparation. While the exact timing may remain uncertain, readiness can make the difference between a smooth exchange and unnecessary complications. A currency condition: ensure that your notes are genuine, clean, and intact. Damaged or soiled bills could create delays or even rejection. Simple precautions, storing notes in protective sleeves or envelopes, can preserve their condition. B. Documentation. Most redemption centers or banks will require valid identification. This could include passports, driver's licenses, government-issued IDs. Additionally, holders should gather proof of purchase or receipts for their currency, if available. Keeping these documents organized in a clearly labeled folder can streamline the process. See personal plan. One of the most overlooked aspects of preparation is having a financial roadmap. Many people focus solely on the event of exchanging their currency but neglect the more important question: what comes after? A simple written plan should address where the funds will be deposited, how much will be allocated toward immediate obligations, debts, bills, urgent expenses, what portion will be reserved for savings and investments. D. Professional support. Those new to handling significant sums of money are strongly advised to seek professional counsel. Financial advisors, tax professionals, and wealth managers can provide guidance on preserving and growing new wealth responsibly. Without such support, many individuals risk making impulsive decisions that lead to regret later. 4. Mindset. The hidden factor beyond paperwork and procedures lies something equally vital: mindset. The potential of sudden access to large sums of money can be overwhelming. Excitement, relief, and fear may all surface simultaneously. Approaching this transition with discipline and clarity is crucial. A calm, methodical outlook will help participants avoid rash decisions, scams, and emotional overspending. This is not simply a conclusion to years of waiting. It is the beginning of a new financial journey. Those who understand this distinction will be better positioned to turn opportunity into stability. 5. The bigger picture. Iraq's path to renewal, the revaluation or adjustment of the dinar, is not solely about individual financial gain. It reflects Iraq's broader economic trajectory. Economic reforms. Iraq has been actively reforming its banking system, modernizing its financial institutions, and taking steps toward aligning with international standards. These reforms aim to strengthen transparency, reduce corruption, and rebuild trust. Global integration. For years, Iraq's economy was isolated by sanctions, political instability, and external control. A re-emerging dinar signals not only internal progress, but also Iraq's reintegration into the global financial marketplace. See national symbolism beyond economics. This process is symbolic. It represents Iraq reclaiming sovereignty over its currency and, by extension, its economy. For citizens and investors alike, it is a moment of renewal. 6. Warnings and red flags. Moments of transition often attract opportunists. Scams flourish where hope and urgency intersect. Holders must exercise extreme caution. Be skeptical of anyone promising front-of-the-line access. Avoid offers of special rates or secret deals. Never share personal or banking information with unverified sources. Confirm all communications directly with your bank or redemption center. Legitimate institutions will always respect your need for verification and will never pressure you into acting faster than you feel comfortable. 7. Emotional and practical readiness. Exchanging currency is not only a logistical step, it carries significant emotional weight. For many, it represents the culmination of years of waiting, doubt, and hope. Relief and vindication are natural emotions, but they can cloud judgment. The wisest approach is to pause, breathe, and proceed deliberately. Rewarding yourself is natural, but avoid lavish purchases in the early stages. History shows that many who suddenly acquire wealth without a plan lose it quickly. The goal should not be short-term indulgence, but long-term transformation. 8. Post-exchange responsibilities. What happens after the exchange is arguably more important than the exchange itself. Studies of lottery winners and settlement recipients reveal a cautionary truth. Without discipline, sudden wealth often fades within a few years. To avoid this pitfall, participants should establish secure accounts capable of handling large deposits. Consult tax professionals immediately to prepare for obligations. Create a balanced plan for savings, investments, and moderate spending. Consider long-term goals such as education funds, retirement security, or generational wealth. In other words, the exchange is only the first step in a much larger journey. 9. The geopolitical context. To fully appreciate the significance of the dinar's shift, it is essential to understand the geopolitical backdrop. Iraq's currency has been suppressed for years, largely due to instability, external restrictions, and oversight from international bodies. These constraints, while burdensome, also protected Iraq during volatile times. Today, as the country stabilizes and reforms, the lifting of these constraints represents more than just financial recalibration. It is about restoring Iraq's dignity, independence, and ability to participate fully in the global economy. For dinar holders, participating in this process is not only a financial act, but also a symbolic contribution to Iraq's reemergence. 10. The importance of timing and perspective. Some reports suggest variations in exchange rates depending on region, timing, or contractual arrangements. This can easily breed anxiety and comparison. However, the essential takeaway is not who exchanged first or who secured a slightly different rate. It is that the process itself is moving forward. Every completed transaction strengthens confidence in the system and brings the event closer to full accessibility. Patience remains a virtue. Those who wait their turn and remain grounded will ultimately benefit. 11. The human side of the dinar story at its core, this journey is about people. Families who held on despite skepticism, communities who formed bonds through forums and meetings, individuals who quietly endured years of doubt, yet refused to let go of hope. For many, this is more than an investment. It is a story of resilience, perseverance, and the belief that patience eventually pays off. 12. Looking ahead, the unfolding events around the Iraqi dinar mark more than just a potential revaluation. They symbolize the turning of a page. The next chapter is not defined by waiting, but by action, by preparation, execution, and long-term planning. The opportunity is historic, but it is not without risks. Success will depend not on the size of the exchange, but on the wisdom of the choices made afterward. The years of speculation and uncertainty have led to this transitional moment. The systems appear active, institutions are signaling readiness, and individuals are being called to prepare. Yet the real work begins not at the redemption center, but in the mindset and planning that follows. For holders, this is both a reward for endurance and a test of discipline. With careful preparation, professional support, and a long-term vision, this moment can become a foundation for financial security and generational wealth. For Iraq, it is a milestone on the path to economic sovereignty and international integration. The story of the dinar is no longer just about waiting. It is about readiness, responsibility, and renewal. And while no one can predict every detail of what lies ahead, one truth stands firm. Those who approach this moment with clarity and wisdom will be best positioned to turn it into lasting opportunity. Beyond the exchange, building a lasting future, if Section 1 of this discussion captured the anticipation and preparation required for the Iraqi dinar's turning point, Section 2 must address the equally important, and in many ways more difficult, phase. What comes next? A currency exchange, no matter how life-changing, is only a starting line. The true challenge lies in managing newfound resources responsibly, avoiding pitfalls, and shaping decisions that create security and prosperity for years to come. Wealth, especially sudden wealth, can be both empowering and dangerous. Without structure and foresight, it can evaporate just as quickly as it arrives. This section explores strategies, risks, emotional dynamics, and global contexts that dinar holders must consider after redemption. 1. The psychology of sudden wealth. Studies of lottery winners, inheritance recipients, and settlement beneficiaries consistently highlight a troubling trend. Sudden money often vanishes within a few years. Why? Emotional reactions override rational planning. Relief and excitement push individuals toward impulsive decisions. Social pressure increases. Friends, family, and even strangers may make requests, leading to guilt-driven spending. Lack of financial literacy. Many recipients simply lack the knowledge to protect and grow funds. The same risks apply to dinar holders. Recognizing these psychological patterns in advance is essential. Preparing emotionally is just as important as preparing financially. The mantra should be, pause, plan, proceed. 2. Establishing financial foundations before investing, spending, or donating. New wealth requires a secure foundation. Think of it as constructing a strong financial base, upon which everything else rests. A secure banking relationships. Choose reputable banks, preferably Tier 1 institutions with strong global networks. Ensure your accounts can handle large deposits without triggering extended holds. For additional security, consider diversifying funds across multiple banks. B. Emergency fund. Set aside a portion of the exchange proceeds in highly liquid, low-risk accounts. This ensures immediate access to cash for unexpected expenses without disrupting long-term plans. C. Debt elimination. Paying down high-interest debt is one of the most effective ways to achieve instant financial relief. It reduces monthly obligations and creates breathing room for future growth. 3. The role of professional guidance. No matter how disciplined an individual may be, navigating significant wealth without professional support is risky. Financial advisors provide guidance on investment options, asset allocation, and long-term strategies. Tax experts ensure compliance with domestic and international tax laws, potentially saving substantial sums. Estate planners help structure wealth to benefit future generations, often through trusts or foundations. The key is to work only with licensed, reputable professionals. Opportunists posing as advisors will inevitably surface during this transition. Vetting credentials is non-negotiable. 4 investment principles for new wealth. While specific investment choices vary depending on individual circumstances, several universal principles apply. 1. Diversify. Avoid placing all funds in one asset class. Spread investments across cash, equities, bonds, real estate, and alternative assets. 2. Prioritize safety first. Protecting capital should precede chasing high returns. 3. Understand before you invest. Never commit funds to an opportunity you do not fully understand. 4. Think long-term. Favor steady, sustainable growth over speculative gains. Real estate, global index funds, and carefully selected fixed-income instruments often serve as strong anchors in diversified portfolios. 5. Guarding against scams. Moments of transition are fertile ground for fraud. Common red flags include promises of guaranteed high returns, pressure to act quickly, requests for upfront fees, complex structures designed to confuse. The guiding principle is simple. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Verification, caution, and skepticism are powerful shields. 6. Generational wealth. Thinking beyond yourself. For many, the greatest opportunity lies not in immediate consumption, but in creating stability for children and grandchildren. Education funds establishing dedicated accounts for future education can transform the trajectory of a family line. B. Real estate holdings. Properties can serve as long-term wealth anchors, offering both utility and appreciation. C. Trusts and estates. Legal structures such as trusts can safeguard wealth against mismanagement, taxation, and external claims, ensuring that resources remain within the family. 7. The emotional landscape. Sudden wealth alters relationships. Friends may view you differently, family expectations may grow, and personal identity can shift. Managing these dynamics requires boundaries and self-awareness. Some strategies include setting clear policies for gifts and loans to others, practicing discretion, avoiding unnecessary disclosure of financial details, investing in personal development, such as financial education or coaching, to build confidence in handling new responsibilities. 8. Giving back responsibly. Many will feel compelled to share their good fortune. Charitable giving, when done wisely, can multiply the positive impact of wealth. Options include direct donations to trusted charities, establishing family foundations, or donor-advised funds supporting community initiatives. The key is to balance generosity with sustainability, ensuring that giving does not jeopardize personal financial stability. 9. Iraq's larger story. A national reset. While personal planning is crucial, it is equally important to situate this moment within Iraq's broader journey. A currency as symbol, the revaluation or reactivation of the dinar, symbolizes Iraq's reemergence as a sovereign economic actor. B. Economic reform. Banking modernization, anti-corruption measures, and international partnerships reflect a broader vision of integration. C. Global reset conversations. Some analysts link Iraq's developments to wider discussions of global currency realignments and economic shifts. While speculative, these narratives highlight the interconnectedness of modern finance. 10. Lessons from other windfalls. History provides ample examples of how sudden wealth has been handled, sometimes wisely, often poorly. Lottery winners. A large majority lose their winnings within 5-7 years. Athletes. Many professional players file for bankruptcy within a decade of retirement due to poor financial management. Inheritance recipients. Sudden recipients without guidance often spend rapidly and regret later. The lesson is clear. Financial literacy and discipline matter more than the size of the windfall. 11. Building a personal roadmap. Every dinar holder should create a personal wealth blueprint. This document does not need to be complex but should answer key questions. What are my immediate obligations? What portion of funds will remain untouched for at least 5 years? Who are the professionals I trust to guide me? What legacy do I want to create for my family? Writing these answers down transforms abstract ideas into concrete commitments. 12. The first 90 days, the first 3 months after an exchange, are the most critical. They set the tone for everything that follows. Recommended actions include 1. Deposit funds in secure accounts. 2. Pay off high-interest debt. 3. Establish an emergency reserve. 4. Consult with professionals before making any investments. 5. Resist large lifestyle changes until a full plan is in place. This period should be treated as a time of consolidation, not expansion. 13. Long-term vision. The ultimate goal is transformation, not just financial, but personal and generational. Wealth can be used to achieve independence from financial stress, create opportunities for loved ones, support meaningful causes, build businesses and innovations, strengthen communities approached with foresight. The dinar exchange can become a platform for lasting impact, rather than a fleeting moment of celebration. Final reflections. If Section 1 was about readiness for exchange, Section 2 is about readiness for life after exchange. The road ahead will be shaped not by the size of the redemption, but by the wisdom of decisions made afterward. Sudden wealth is both a gift and a test. It requires humility, discipline, and strategic planning. By securing foundations, engaging trusted professionals, guarding against scams, and maintaining a long-term vision, holders can transform opportunity into enduring prosperity. Ultimately, this moment is not just financial, it is deeply human. It is about growth, responsibility, and vision. And those who rise to the occasion will not only secure their own future, but also contribute to the renewal of a nation, and perhaps, the reshaping of a global financial order. Disclaimer: all content provided by IQD Global Intel is for educational and informational purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and do not provide investment, trading, or banking advice. Viewers should always conduct their own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any financial decisions.